Up next on AVTN News, Homecoming 2014. Learn more about all the fun happening this month at the junior-senior high school. Plus, we'll introduce you to another new staff member in the district, and we'll take a look at local news and weather. All ahead on AVTN News. Thanks for tuning in to AVTN News. I'm Shane Eder.
And I'm Josie Fischels. As many of you know, we're wrapping up Homecoming Week 2014. So far, this week has seen lots of excitement and Mustang pride taking over the halls of the district schools. With a closer look at some of the week's events, we now turn to Rachel with our top story. Rachel, what have been some of the biggest hits this year for Homecoming?
So far, Josie, the district has seen great attendance for all weekly events, but most likely the high point of the week was the huge home volleyball match with the Mustangs playing Vinton-Shellsburg, which we'll have more details on that in sports. But students in general say that they just had a great time seeing all the excitement, especially when it comes to dressing up in costumes. As is tradition, Homecoming Week will come to a close with a home football game this year against the Waverly Shell Rock Go Hawks. And then on Saturday night, high school students will be able to attend the homecoming dance here at the junior-senior high school. Reporting for AVTN, I'm Rachel DeBoer. Shane and Josie, back to you.
Thanks, Rachel. The theme for this year's Homecoming Week is There Is No Pity in Mustang City.
Continuing our coverage of Homecoming 2014, Student Council students worked hard this mid-September to decorate halls within the junior-senior high school to further promote student involvement and collaboration within the homecoming activities. Each grade level was assigned the task of creating a theme or concept and decorating a specific hall in the building. Like many of the activities, hall decorating has been a long-standing tradition within the halls of the high school ranks during Independence's homecoming celebrations. In a viewer-submitted news topic, we're exploring the topic student language use in and around the halls of the schools. According to our viewer submission, this person made observations that on a frequent basis, students are overheard using profanity and typically within context of everyday conversations. While most English teachers would tell students these words do have meanings and are not correctly used as adjectives as most students do, the school does take a stronger stance on this issue than most might realize.
You got to be able to control what you're saying. I know outside of school, and each home is different as far as what's allowed to be said and what's not allowed to be said, but everyone needs to learn how to act in a professional setting, whether it be in a school system or a workplace or whatever like that, and it's just a matter of control.
We here at AVTN News would like to offer up the challenge to all watching. Let's not tell all. Clean up the environment for our ears and live the Mustang way.
Speaking of living the Mustang way, in our first episode, we asked you for help in nominating a student, staff, or community member who you think exemplifies the Mustang way. In our first nomination, student Caitlin Nader was viewed as a leader on and off the volleyball court. Caitlin, to many, is a role model of discipline and hard work. As a freshman, Caitlin put in hard work to earn a spot on the varsity team, playing alongside her big sister Carly. This also saw her compete in the Iowa High School Volleyball State Tournament. Outside of volleyball, Caitlin stays active not only with strong work ethics in the classroom, she also gets involved in other athletic teams, including basketball, track and field, and even into the summer, Caitlin continues to represent the maroon and white while playing on the softball team. While Caitlin is quite the competitor, staying humble and just having fun one game at a time is what makes her this week's spotlight person living the Mustang way.
She fits it because she respects everyone, and that's one of the mottos. She lives gratefully by coming to practice, and she just loves what she does by playing volleyball and working with her teammates. She's really responsible. She gets her stuff done. She goes to practice, works hard, remembers to get everything done. She puts up nets. She even does it with her schoolwork. I know she takes time to get that stuff done and not worry about her social life as much. She worries about getting her work done, and then she'll have fun later, and she has fun on the court.
I want to be a role model. I hope I am. I feel like I am. I just want to always be my best so they can look at me and want to be like me.
If you'd like to nominate someone you think exemplifies the Mustang way, please contact AVTN today at ndavtech@gmail.com or contact Mr. McBride at Junior Senior High School.
In our last episode, we also introduced you to one new face here in the junior-senior high school. As we continue our faculty meet and greet segment, we'd like to introduce you to Mr. Payton, our district's new junior-senior high school assistant principal. A native of the Waterloo area and 2000 graduate of Waterloo West, Mr. Payton has been active both as a teacher and coach. While a student in college, Mr. Payton was fortunate enough to have the chance to play football for the Iowa State Cyclones while finishing up his teaching degree with Upper Iowa University. After college, up through these past school years, Mr. Payton has been a special education teacher for the Waterloo Community School District. From all of us here at AVTN, we'd like to publicly welcome Mr. Payton to the Mustang family.
Coming up after the break, we'll have a look at the latest headlines from your Mustang Nation scoreboard.
And we'll have the latest in local and world news, plus weather, all after the break. You're watching AVTN News here on AVTN, all things Mustangs.
Overwhelmed and confused about how to create a website? Need a logo for your new or existing business? 63% of consumers look to websites first when seeking products or services. Let Fusion Forward ease your mind and accelerate your business with an affordable, professional website and much more. Visit www.fusionforward.com to view our work. Take advantage of our free, no-obligation 15-minute consultation. Call 319-334-9300 to set up an appointment at our Independence office. Fusion Forward, accelerate your business.
What can being a Mustang do for you? Let's start from the top. Being a Mustang will give you the chance to learn from some of the state's best teachers at all levels, kindergarten through high school. Being a Mustang will allow you the chance to become involved and hands-on with our state award-winning arts, athletics, plus our non-competitive activities groups. Being a Mustang will allow you to study, achieve, and grow into the person you want to be. Will you be a Mustang? For more information on the Mustang Way, visit the school's website at www.independence.k12.ia.us. Independence Community Schools. Start here, succeed anywhere.
With your Mustang Nation Sports Update, I'm Kylie Seahas. And what looked to be a strong start to the season, the Mustang football team has stalled out, recently losing 2 of the first 3 games this season and 2 very strong opponents. In week 2 of the Iowa football season, the Mustangs played at home against a tough ranked number 2 team, North Fayette Valley. But the Mustangs played strong in the first half. The strong plays of North Fayette Valley's talented offense was too much for the Mustangs in the second half. In week 3, the Mustangs traveled to Decorah to take on the Vikings along the Upper Iowa River opening conference play for the 2014 season. Well, in school history, the Mustangs have gone 0-20 against the Vikings. This game would have come down to the wire. For the first time in well over 2 decades, the Mustangs played strong throughout the fourth quarter with the Mark Thompson field goal lead and holding Decorah to a shutout in the fourth, where a late Decorah touchdown would swing the tide.
I thought we had a great opportunity going up to Decorah the other day. I thought we had a good week of practice that led up to that point. It allowed us to really have a chance to be successful up there. Going up to play against a team like Decorah that has traditionally come down and played us and pretty much dominated us throughout. It's an interesting mental set going up there as far as what the kids are going to think, and if we truly think that we can come out with a victory or not. I think our kids did believe that. I thought we come up there and we executed really well at times. Obviously, if you watched or listened to the ball game, there's a lot of penalties, a lot of mental errors that we made up there, which cost us in the end more than likely. But our defense played tremendously to hold them to no points through midway through the fourth quarter was great. And offensively, we moved the ball around a little bit. Penalties and stuff hurt us. And ultimately, we have to be able to put the ball in the end zone and put up more than 3 points there. But I thought we stood and battled really well. We put ourselves in a position to win that ball game. Didn't get it done at the end there. But again, I think we've taken some big steps from where we've come from in the last couple of years. I know that loss hurt. Not only hurt our staff, it hurt the kids. And that's not all a bad thing either, because now it's gotten really personal for them. They've invested a lot of time and energy in what we're trying to do. And that's what we want. We want them to care. We want them to hurt when we're not successful. So again, I'm pleased with the overall. I was disappointed with the loss, but pleased with the progress that we've made so far.
In Mustang volleyball, the Mustangs have come out strong in their defense of their 2013 state tournament appearance. Even with the loss of some key seniors from this past season, the Mustang girls played a strong match, coming from behind to beat a Class 4A and WAMAC opponent Clear Creek Amana. The Clippers, ranked number 7 in Class 4A play, showed up for a dogfight on the court, taking the first series, but the Mustangs would rally back to get the win in 5 sets. So far in the season, the Mustangs have moved up 1 spot to number 3 from preseason rankings.
Last night we struggled a little bit. It was just one of our off nights, but we did what we had to do to get ourselves into the game and get the job done with our wins. We swept them, clean night for everyone throughout the teams. Last night for varsity it was a good win, but I mean we didn't play to our potential. Shelby Lehman did have a great game, but the rest of us, we could have picked it up for the next game, so hopefully we can fix that.
A new face looks to be on the sidelines this coming spring for the Mustang boys soccer program. Miguel Silva, who also coaches the Upper Iowa men's soccer team, has accepted the boys' head coaching position here in Independence. In a Skype interview earlier this week, Silva said he is excited about the upcoming season and looks forward to working with the boys' soccer squad. With the boys falling short in a regional game last year, Silva thinks his experience from coaching college to high school would not only be a good experience for the boys, but yet for him also. Silva's goal for the team is to grow the boys' soccer program for the Independence area. The boys' first soccer game will take place Friday, April 10th, where they will be hosted by the Western Dubuque Bobcats. As we wrap up sports, here's your latest look at your Mustang Nation scoreboard. We'll be right back.
Have you had the opportunity to see or play in an athletic event at Lyle Limbaugh Field? How about visit or use the multi-purpose athletics facility at the field? Have you or someone you know had the chance to walk the American Trotter Trail on the district's campus? Chances are many of you have, but many of you may not know a group of volunteers comprising the Independence Mustang Foundation has helped pave the way for these great assets to our school district and community, literally, by also working on the Limbaugh Complex Paver Project. The Mustang Foundation continues to support district-wide projects including the Junior-Senior High School Grand Piano, new cameras and technology for staff, students, and AV Tech Club, plus the group is now working on a project called The Final Push, which will foster new field turf for outdoor events, a new district home for the school's tennis, softball, and baseball teams with venues on the district's unified campus. Learn how you can donate and support the Mustang Foundation's mission by visiting their website at www.indymustangfoundation.com. The Mustang Foundation, helping unite us all as the Mustangs. The Mustang Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit organization.
What does it mean to be maroon and white? What does it mean to be a Mustang? Pride, determination, and a unified support of all things Mustang. Support the 3 A's of Mustang excellence: arts, athletics, and academics. Success in all areas and a drive to be competitive is who we are. We are the Mustangs. Support the maroon and white in school and around town by showing your Mustang pride each and every day. This message is brought to you by AVTN and the Independence AV Tech Club.
Taking a look into local and world news, this mid-September saw the 13th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. Well, after a decade, communities around the country, including Independence, took time to reflect upon all the lives lost in the Twin Towers, the Pentagon, and in Pennsylvania.
In a follow-up to the story we first brought you this past spring, the City of Independence is continuing to work on road improvements, now pushing past the research and consulting phase to rebuilding some of the city's worst areas for sidewalks and roads. This will be an ongoing project for the city. AVTN will continue to follow updates with this story throughout the project.
Expanding our view to national and world news, an active hurricane season in the Pacific continues. What was once Hurricane Odile has since been downgraded to a tropical depression not after destroying homes and beachfront resorts along the northwest coast of Mexico. The tropical depression that is left of the hurricane is expected to bring potentially record rainfall to the drought-stricken desert southwest. However, any rainfall that could aid the drought looks to fall just east of the hardest-hit areas of California.
Finally, in world news, a group of scientists and seismologists are predicting based on studies and computer simulations that the likelihood of the Pacific Ocean and areas along the Pacific Rim seeing 9.0 magnitude earthquakes is increasing. The findings show that earthquakes along the tectonic plates of the Pacific Rim are much more capable of creating this strong force than once thought. The results of 9.0 or larger earthquakes can be seen in the recent decades following tsunamis in the Philippines and Japan.
Before we wrap up this episode of AVTN News, we turn now to Kylie with a look at your weather vision forecast.
Taking a look into your AVTN weather vision forecast, we see that the long-range outlook's favoring a fairly dry stretch of weather for most of Iowa throughout the next week to weeks. Temperatures will remain close to normal. Some models are suggesting we might see a slight warmer trend edging towards slightly above normal, though for this time of year, that will only push temperatures into the low to mid-70s for daytime highs. Part of what will start to make the air harder to warm this time of year is a decrease in sunlight. The days are continuing to get shorter. Sunrise through the end of the month will be close to 7 a.m., and whether you like it or not, the sun will be setting just before 7 p.m. And weather fun fact for this time of year, we'll see autumn arrive around 9:29 p.m. Tuesday, the 23rd. when we'll have a split day, 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of darkness. Looking at the long-range model, using the GFS model as our tool of choice, we'll see the models agreeing with the climate outlook, trending towards possibly a week or two of mainly dry conditions across the Hawkeye State, as most of the nation sees a primarily zonal flow with Iowa stuck right in the middle. A possibly stronger low pressure will track to the north across northern Minnesota early into the week, which may be far enough south to bring us a few sprinkles. Otherwise, dry conditions will prevail as the southern U.S. gets soaked with the remains of Hurricane Odile. Taking a look into your Weather Vision 7-day forecast, we'll see high temps holding near average and in the low mid-70s through the early part of next week before a cold front pushes through with high pressure setting in. That will bring us cooler than average temps through most of next week. Highs will settle into the upper 60s with chilly lows at night, dropping into low to mid 40s through the most of next week, as said before. Looks to remain dry and sunny just in time for some of those farmers who got a leg up on the planting season. We might start seeing some of them out there in the fields harvesting. Either way, next week looks picture perfect, so get out and enjoy the arrival of fall.
Thanks, Kelly. The forecast sounds great for the Mustang outdoor fall activities.
That's going to do it for this episode of AVTN News. As always, we'd like to thank you for watching this broadcast. If you have a news story you'd like to see covered, contact AVTN by emailing indieavtech@gmail.com or by visiting our website on the school's website. Look for AV Tech News under the Activities tab.
This podcast is production of the students here at Independence Junior Senior High School and AV Tech Club. You've been watching AVTN News, all things Mustangs. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.